Um, since April of 2024, so coming up on 2 years, I have been unhoused. For the majority of that, I have been living on the streets. I am thankful and I am blessed enough to have people that still believe in me. And I have family that help me right now. So graciously, I am not living outside. Um, but because of my drug addiction, um, I would be out there. Um, and especially because I had left from Vancouver to Calgary, I would be freezing. But the reality is, I would freeze 1,000 times over if it meant that I was escaping from the place called Vancouver, East Hastings. Um, but one of the things that I experienced through this whole, the couple of years of extreme poverty for sure, I used to be a very materialistic person. I used to chase materialistic things in life. I lived with this void inside of me that I used to wonder, like, what is it going to take in order to fill that hole? I would spend, it didn't matter how much money, it didn't matter, like, I had to have the biggest, like, better, and then that didn't work and I had to get something even better, and I just constantly was searching for the next best thing. And nothing got rid of that. Nothing could satisfy this hunger, the search for more in me. And uh, I always questioned, like, I've always been a big ponderer, right? Um, like, why are we here? What is the big picture? Like, what is my purpose? What is my focus? And I lived in misery for a very long time. I didn't understand that I could separate myself from my thoughts. I thought I was my thoughts. But one day I had an epiphany um, of like, uh, I think things, right? But my thoughts do not define who I am as a person. I am not my thoughts. My thoughts are my perspective on something, but my perspective does not make it real. And when I was able to realize that, it gave me the ability to say, okay, um, now that I realize that, how do I start putting that into practice? And when I was on the streets in 2024, I lived outside in a dog park with my ex-partner, and I went through a spiritual journey, and I was trying to understand the how and the why of everything. And I had learned about like the multiverse. I had learned about the laws of attraction, like the different universal laws, right? The law of detachment, the laws of attraction, and I really thought about what that meant. And I had learned also about the holographic principle as well too. And I used to think of the holographic principle on the horizontal axis, not the vertical axis. And once I was able to like comprehend that everything is two-dimensional, it's just projected onto it like a third dimensional, like like holographic prism, basically. Um, like, I couldn't understand that until I thought of it straight up rather than flat, and all of a sudden it was like everything made sense. And I was using Istilcray Ethme at that point, and so I went into a bit of a spiritual psychosis because like I had comprehended that everything around me is energy, and that Not only am I a projection of my mind and my body, I am also everything that is around me. So basically, because I am the observer, I create my own reality. And because of that, the matter that is around me is consciousness of of my observation. Therefore, is a what's the word I'm looking for? An extension of myself. I am myself, my body, my mind, and I am also the room, basically. So that took me a long time to understand, and then I learned about like resonation, vibration, and frequency. And when I was able to comprehend that my thoughts create my destiny and they create my reality, therefore I have to be extremely careful about what I think, because what I think will create my future, and how I resonate will uh, deem how the universe answers my prayers. I became extremely conscious about what I thought, about how I felt, and I was able to challenge myself to move from such a low vibration, like a pain body, uh, really extensive suffering. And one of the other things I read was the Celestian Prophecy, which kind of like taps into that as well too. And that every exchange that you have with another human is an opportunity for energy to flow from one person to another. And from that, you can either be drained of your energy, or you can have your energy like synergy, right? The sum of uh, the value is greater than the sum of its parts. You know, so like you get more out of something if it's meant to be and you're meant to click. But we have these things called control dramas, and we learn that we can siphon energy from people at a young age um, through negative behaviors, whether it be sexual prowess, control, like intimidation, power, like like the alpha male, masculinity, like also like the feminine, but in the sense of like hyper femininity, like strip clubs, sexuality, you know what I mean, lust. Um, a lot of victims. Victim is another way that a person can get, the sad, always down on my luck, why are you so sad all the time kind of deal. Like those are control dramas that we learn at a young age in order to get, how they say that kids learn that attention is good whether it's negative or positive, so they only know how to get negative attention. Like that's a control drama basically. And by learning how to eliminate uh, my desire to exchange energy in a negative way, I was able to build my self-esteem to the point where I do not need external validation in order to feel fulfilled. To feel that like I am worthy. Like when I realized that it doesn't matter where my socioeconomic status is, like where I am in my life, like everything, like none of that matters. What matters is like, do I help people? Am I kind? Do I wake up and make another like service work? Do I like dedicate my life to service for others? Like is that to me is what I consider to be like the ultimate form of happiness and fulfillment. And by resonating on such a high frequency, like my entire life has changed. My outlook has changed because I look at my life through a higher frequency lens. I see higher frequency opportunities. Um, I just I'm able to like get through a day and not feel like I don't want to be here anymore. I like being a part of life. I like contributing, and that took me a long time. And I had to learn that. And I had to find that out on the streets, uh, surrounded by low frequency beings, realizing that I didn't resonate. So just keep trying. Sometimes you just don't fit where you are, and that's why it feels like that. Thanks for listening.